How's it going, nation? What's going on? It's time for us to talk about a new album, one that actually just dropped yesterday, and one that I've actually had on the plate now for a while, but unfortunately haven't gotten the opportunity to get to until this moment. Lots of great and exciting news will be coming, so definitely hop over to the Facebook page and make sure that you are there, because there will be a lot of announcements coming in the coming days. We'll talk about a nice long album title today, The Mediator, Between the Head and the Hands Must Be the Heart, by Sepultura, who of course a legendary act out of Brazil. Now, this is an album that has a lot of different elements to it. There is the changing of the guard as far as the drum position is concerned, with newcomer Eloy Casagrande taking over at the sticks. And also we have a kind of an interesting concept, yet not a concept, for this record. There's a lot of inspiration lyrically for this album that was drawn from the film and the novel Metropolis, which is kind of a strange idea and a strange concept because of the way in which it applies to modern day society and the modern day world, essentially. In the film, if you recall, a billionaire wanted to essentially turn a robot into a man, and basically it's how he kind of wreaked havoc on society, whereas here today we have all of this technology, all of these things that keep us linked together, all of us that essentially makes us slaves to something else, somebody else. We are constantly addicted to different ideas of technology. It's almost as though there is a bit of a prophecy that has occurred, and this is a lot of information that has come straight from the band, and also the fact that it just seems as though done in a different way, there's a lot of similarity. So, a lot of inspiration drawn from that, and you can definitely tell from track titles such as The Bliss of Ignorance, The Age of the Atheist, Manipulation of Tragedy, which is obviously about the media. Now let's speak a little bit actually about the music on this release, because Sepultura has been a band that has been very, very direct in their approach many stages of the game, having a lot of the thrash metal elements of it into it, with a kind of a little area and an arena of darkness that has sort of taken place on some of the albums. They've done concept releases on Dante's Inferno. They've done concept releases on A Clockwork Orange, so they are certainly well versed in literature, and also really enjoy drawing concepts upon some of these classic works in order to create albums. And once again, with the whole Metropolis link, that is somewhat true on this album here. Now, musically speaking, we have certainly the same level of darkness and same level of ability that we've had on previous Sepultura affairs. This is, of course, post Max and Igor. However, we have a lot also of kind of new ideas. There's a certain darkness on this album that needed to be present on the affair, and is present on the affair principally because of the subject matter that's being mentioned here. This is not something. This idea is not something that needs to be dealt with in a very tame way. This is one that actually needs to have a bit of harshness to it, and it needs to have a little bit of awareness to it that is almost, very hasty in its presentation. And there needs to be an element that this is the world that we live in, and that's certainly the prompt that is kind of given to me whenever I listen to this album. We have a lot of darker sounding tones, we have darker sounding riffs, we have very deep, almost growling vocals, which is ever present throughout a lot of their different material throughout the years. However, it just continues onward with this album, and continues to kind of even deepen its snarl a little bit more in order to kind of emanate and further accentuate everything that is being presented. Now, musically speaking, we do have a wide variety here. We do have some of the traditional thrash metal elements. We do have some of the darker metal elements that you would almost throw a little bit more towards the heavy metal side, almost like throwing in some early Venom or something like that, some different influences there, only kind of giving them a little bit of a modern take and a modern spin, and definitely using the heaviness and the trademark sound that Sepultura has already been able to really create and harvest for itself, and use it to their advantage, and actually explore even darker tones on this album. And I especially think of songs such as the beginning portion of Impending Doom, track number 3. However, the standout track for me is definitely The Vatican, which is track number 2. It starts with a tolling bell. It definitely has a bit of reverence that has been kind of associated with it at the introductory stages. However, it quickly turns to a dark sort of reverence and then immediately thrusts into just this assault on your ears that definitely pleases and definitely gets you throwing up your horns, and I really enjoy that part of it. That's something that you're going to hear a lot on this record, a lot of things that are going to give you that feeling that you just want to put up your horns, and regardless to whether or not you're thrashing your head to it at 1,000 miles per hour or just kind of slowly nodding like this as the riffs churn their way through, it's definitely an experience that's going to leave you satisfied. This is a very solidly written album, and not to mention it's also a very well-performed album. There's not a lot of clutter on this affair. This is one that, even though it spans more than an hour in length, they definitely make good use of their time, and also it should be noted that track 10, there is a bit of a hidden track at the end, so there's a lot of filler space there. That's not actually a part of the record. If you want to be 100% about it, this is a record that probably lasts a little bit under the 50 to 45 minute mark. However, this is time that's not wasted. This is time that's very well used and very well employed, principally because they're able to apply different concepts to each and every track that kind of fit into this theme that what humanity has right now, but barely is given the opportunity, nor do they show, is the fact that there is humanity there. There's free will, and it's something that a lot of times in this society, with the way in which we feel kind of enslaved by either, be it government or big business or our responsibilities, our own stresses, you know, there is still that element of humanity that gives us the opportunity in order to do something about it. But at the same time, that enslavement is something that does not ever feel like we are going to be freed from. This is a very interesting album in the fact that it feels like they're able to touch base on this topic through a course of different ideas, like tsunami, for example, which is more of a metaphoric idea, but at the same time, I think about the different tragedies that have been tsunami-related over the past couple of years and how it easily can apply there, where it seems as though even when things are at their worst, the worst can still occur. And then, of course, with the age of the atheist, this is kind of a new movement that we've seen throughout the past couple of years, where atheism has certainly taken on a larger and more outspoken role in our society, and one in which perhaps they seem to have, or think that they have, a viable edge, but at the same time, they're also kind of handling atheism the same way that the religious handle their individual religions. A lot of different philosophical ways that you can take some of these lyrics, and then there's a lot of great music to accompany them. So this is definitely one that works a little bit with your mind, but also works a lot with your ears, and really creating a very nice sonic atmosphere. And that's the one thing I have to truthfully praise overall about the disc. I like how sonically appealing it is. I like how it's very, very easy to pick up and throw on, and despite the harsh tones that you get from it at times, it's certainly something that keeps you grounded, it keeps you interested, and it keeps you wanting more. Now, the bonus tracks, there's a couple for that as well, including a cover of Death Zombie Ritual, which is very, very well executed. If you have the opportunity to find that, I do highly recommend that you do and check that out, because they definitely give Chuck and the Boys a fair homage. And overall, I just have to say this is a well-crafted disc. I really dug this a lot. I think that an 8.5 out of 10 isn't out of the question. I really believe that this has the capability to really set out some minds at ease, whether it be just in that unknown of having a new drummer, or whether you're still unknown about this band because of the departure of the Cavalera brothers. The band is okay. They're doing very well. They are still producing music that is definitely viable. It's not as though Max and Igor left and the world went to shit. It's just the fact that we're wondering, as music fans, and as Sepultura fans, as, Soulfly fans, as Cavalera Conspiracy fans, what would happen if that dream old-fashioned lineup came together and, did another album. It's not something that looks like it's in the works for right now. However, for the version of the band that we have currently, we should definitely praise them for their efforts, because they definitely put forth yet another thought-provoking and also very well-crafted album musically. So, definitely check this one out and let me know in the comments below. I want to know what your favorite song was off of this album, what you thought of the album, and also, if this isn't your favorite, what is your favorite album from this band? let me know, nation, and we will talk once again and reconvene and speak about another album hopefully tomorrow.